Thank you for the response. So with what we discussed last class, with that the topic interfaces gets completed. You have to try all those programs, and also you can try search for some programs from internet, and you can try. Today we'll be moving to the next topic. It is exception handling. So it is a fresh topic. So first let us understand what is meant by exception and what is known as exception handling. You might have learned this in Python also. So basically, a computer program can create two types of errors. These errors are called as, one is called as the compile time error, the other one is called as the runtime error. Compile time errors are those errors which were created when you compile a program. So you know how to compile a program. We compile a program by typing javac filename.java. So when you give that, if any errors are created, such errors are called as compile time error. And obviously you have to resolve those errors, because without resolving those errors, you cannot execute the program. So such errors are called as compile time errors. But it is not that errors will occur only at compile time. At some situations, errors may also occur at runtime. So these runtime errors are called as exceptions. The errors that occurs at runtime, that is when you execute the program. So say you are compiling javac some file name xyz.java. Let us assume the program successfully compiled. But when you execute java xyz, at the time it is not executing in the way in which you are expecting. Some issues are getting created. So such issues or such situations are called as exceptions. You getting? The errors that are created at runtime are called as exceptions. Okay. So what are the example for that? These are the typical examples for runtime exception. Divide by zero. Assume that at some part of the code you are using a code something like this. You are writing at some place. You are declared say int a, b, c, and then some code is there. Let us not bother what is the code, but at some place you are writing a is equal to b by c. But assume that c value is 0. So here you are making c. So this situation will create what? Actually here you are dividing b by c. But what is the value of c? 0. So this will lead into error. This will not create any compile time error, because logically this code is correct. Only thing is when you execute, it will identify that c is 0 and you cannot divide a number by 0, but still this program will try to execute and it will create a runtime error. So this is one example. So this is one example for exception. Similarly, array index out of bounds. Say for example you are declaring an array like this. Int a is equal to 1 comma 2. So this array contains only two elements, 1 and 2. But say I am trying to access the third element. I am writing like int k is equal to a of 3. But actually it contains only two elements. It has only a of 0 and a of 1. It is not even have it does not even have a of 2. But you are trying. So what will happen? This will also create an exception. Now this creates what exception? This will not create any compile time error. It will create a runtime error. This runtime error is called as exception. Now the name of this exception is what? Array index out of bounds exception. This exception is called as divide by zero exception. Whereas this exception is called as array index out of bounds exceptions. Okay. So this type of things are called as exceptions. Similarly, file not found. File concept we have not discussed, but let us assume that you are trying to open a file. say file f is equal to new file. I'm trying to open a file from my system d:/abc.txt. It means what? It means that already in D drive, I should have a file called abc.txt. If there is no such file, then this will create an exception. This will also not
File
create,
not found.
yeah, it will not create any compile time error. It will only create a runtime error, and that runtime error is called as file not found exception. Similarly, input type mismatch exception. Assume that you want to convert, you want to take an input from the user. For that, you are using scanner, and you want an integer input. So normally, what will you write? You want an integer input. So if you need an integer input, so what you will be doing? If you want an integer input, you'll be writing like scanner sc is equal to new scanner system.in, right? So then probably we'll be writing int something, int s is equal to sc.nextInt. Basically, this is expecting an integer input. This is expecting an integer input, but now say for example, I'm giving a string as an input. You should not give a string. Actually, I'm giving some name. Say for example, I'm giving some text as an input. So I'm giving like rat as an input. So this will create an exception, and this exception is called as input mismatch exception. Okay. So this is what the introduction about exception. So could someone summarize what is an exception? Yes. What is an exception? Anybody? What is an exception? Yes. What is an exception? Is anybody summarize, please? Am I audible or not?
Exceptions are also called as runtime errors.
Yeah.
In which we have 4 categories in that.
Not only these 4 categories, there are many categories. I gave only some examples, right? Okay, then
Where the divide by 0 is the error when we'll get that if a number is divided by 0, in mathematically we will get it as infinity. So here in programming, while we executing it, we'll get an error. That is called as divided by 0 error.
Yeah, what error it will create? It will create a runtime error, not compile time.
Runtime error.
Okay, so the point is exceptions or runtime errors. Okay, not only these 4 examples, there are many runtime errors are there. There are many exception situations are there. These are some of the examples for that, right? Okay, let us move further. So these are some of the situations under which exceptions will occur. So if exceptions occur, then what should we do? See, there is another difference between an exception and error. An error is an unrecoverable situation. If an error occurs, you cannot recover. The program has to stop. You cannot move further. But if an exception occurs, even though there is an exception is there, still it is recoverable. Still the program can continue its execution. So this whole topic is about how to recover an exception. When a runtime error occurs, how should we handle that? And in spite of that error, how the program can still continue further. So that is what the whole topic is about. So the whole topic in exception handling, what we are going to discuss is, okay, there is an exception, let it be, but how could I proceed without stopping my program? That is what we are going to discuss. So this statement you can consider as the definition of exception. An exception is a problem. So basically it is a problem that occurs when a program is running. So this is important. It occurs when the program is running. Often the problem is created by some external source, such as bad user input. So in this case, this input mismatch exception, this is a bad user input, or mechanical failure of an IO device. Say for example, you are trying to write a program to get the control of the mouse, but say that hardware is not working properly, then also it will create an exception. Okay. So like this, exceptions can be created by due to several situations. Okay. So how to handle this? That is what we are going to discuss. And whenever an exception occurs in Java, all exceptions are objects of the class exception. Whenever an exception occurs, the Java runtime environment, it will throw an object of type exception. When an exception occurs, Java runtime environment will throw an object of type. This will happen automatically in Java. So see, if anybody do such things, no, I will not allow you into the participant list. I will just remove you. Ram Babu, who is Ram Babu? He has made his speaker. I suspect him.
Sir, someone is using my name, sir.
No, see, if anybody is, only you should use your name. So if anybody is using somebody else's name, who is this?
Don't know, sir.
So which is yours, the first one or the second one?
I don't know, sir. Both, like, he also kept same name as of mine.
Okay. Fine, let us continue. So the Java runtime, so when any exception occurs, the Java runtime environment will throw an object of type exception. So using this object only, we are going to handle exception. So we will be handling exception using this particular object. Okay. So what we have discussed so far is exceptions are nothing but runtime errors. So basically there are two types of errors. One is a compile time error and the other one is a runtime error. When a compile time error occurs, generally we have to remove that error and then only we can execute the program. But when runtime error occurs, These runtime errors are called as exceptions, and a runtime error can occur due to several situations, like divide by zero, array index out of bounds, file not found, or input type mismatch. Mainly, runtime errors will occur due to some external problem. It means that your program is right. Your program is perfectly all right. Rarely, at some instances, there may be something wrong with the code. Otherwise, 99% the program is correct. But something else, somewhere externally, something is going wrong. Due to that, this kind of errors are occurring. Such errors are called as exception. And when any exception occurs, Java will throw an object of type exception. Okay? And exception is handled in Java by using three keywords. These keywords are try, catch, and finally. Using these three keywords, exception is handled. So this is the syntax for exception handling. So the code. So if you suspect that this particular code will create exception, this particular code may create exception, then you have to put that particular code within the try block. Okay. So you suspect that this code may create exception. Say let us assume that divide by zero exception which we consider. So for example, I'm writing the code A is equal to B by C, where C is 0. So I know that if C is 0, this statement will create an exception. So what I'm doing is I'm writing this part of the code within the try block. So now the try block will be followed by one or more catch block. The try block should have minimum one catch block. The try block should have minimum one catch block, but it can have also more than one catch block. Okay. But minimum it should have only one catch block. So the try block should have minimum one catch block. So other catch blocks are optional. It can have any number of catch blocks, but this one catch block is, the first catch block is mandatory. Okay. And also the try block can end with a finally block. The try block can also end with a finally block, which is optional. Okay. So now what will happen in the sense, if this code, if there is an exception, then the respective catch block will execute. Then the respective catch block will execute. And if there is no exception, then the try block will execute, and none of the catch block or the finally block will execute. And the code that follows the try block and the catch and finally block will execute. If there is exception, what will happen? This the respective catch block will execute, and after that the code that follows the catch block will execute. Okay. So this is how we write an exception code. So let us assume there is, but if there is no, okay. So are you following or not? Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
so could someone say what actually the try block is doing? What the try block is doing? What the try block is doing? See, the try block will contain the code that will create the exception, that may create exception. And if exception occurs, then the respective catch block will execute. And after executing the catch block, the code that follows the catch and the finally block will execute. If there is no exception created, assume C is not 0. If C is not 0, this will not create an exception. If there is no exception, then the try block will execute, and after that the code that follows the catch and the finally block will execute. Is it clear? So this is one case. So this is the case when you write a try block, case 1, okay, try and the catch block. But assume that I am not writing a try and catch block, but still my program may create an exception. Okay. So let us assume case 2, where I am writing a code A is equal to B by C, where C may be 0, but I am not writing this code within try and catch block. Now, if C is 0, then what will happen? Now, in this situation, say for example, if C is equal to 0, then what will happen? An exception will be created and the program will terminate. Exception will be created and the program will terminate. See, just a minute, I'm getting a call. I'll join back. Sir, yes sir. Good morning, sir. Yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Yes, sir. Mm, yes, sir. So actually, the in charge is uploading the stuff, sir. But individual faculties are also taking classes, online classes. Mm, mm. Okay. Yes, sir. Mm, mm, mm. Okay. Mm, mm, mm. Okay. Okay, sir. Mm, 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 mm. Okay. Okay, sir. Mm, mm, sure. Okay. Okay, sir. Okay. Yeah. Clear. Yes, sir. Yes.